Hey everybody, it's Christina and Cindy with Adaptive Equipment and Caregiving Corner, and it is time for our next episode of
Rolling with Ruby.
Rolling with Ruby. That's right. Today, Cindy and I are on the road. We are headed to Effingham, Illinois. You ever heard of Effingham?
Yeah.
You ever heard of Effingham? Effingham, Illinois. Hey, that is the home of the Flaming Hearts.
Flaming Hearts. I did not know that.
Yeah, Flaming Hearts is their school mascot. So
awesome.
Yeah, so we're headed there today, and we are doing a presentation for the local Parkinson's support group, and we are talking about the some products and stuff that we think, as therapists, could be helpful for individuals that are living with Parkinson's, caregivers that have loved ones that are living with Parkinson's, help maintain their functional independence, and importantly, their dignity.
That's right.
That's huge, I think.
Yeah, it is huge.
Yeah. So what we usually do is during these presentations, we will kind of break it down based on kind of room of the house, maybe.
Yeah.
We kind of go through based on the products based, that we think people would find helpful based on room of the house. So, or activity of daily living.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I want to start off with what I think is one of the, for me, with speech therapy. So speech therapy, we help people with swallowing. Maybe they have some difficulty with swallowing. Occupational therapy also does that. They work with people that have difficulty with swallowing. They will find products that will help them maintain adequate hydration and nutrition. And one of the products that I think is really helpful is called the Meal Lifter.
Yeah.
And I'll list these in the show notes underneath the video of these products that we're going to talk about. And so if you're interested, you can click on the link and it'll take you to their website and you can learn more about it. So, so back to the Meal Lifter. So the Meal Lifter is a product that is it's round, hot, tall. It's a round piece of equipment. I think it's like some kind of a resin.
Yeah.
But it's kind of tall, about this tall. And the idea is you would put your plate on top of the Meal Lifter, and it raises the plate and thereby the food a few inches and makes the food closer to your mouth.
Right.
So lots of times people with Parkinson's, they will have, if they've got a trimmer in their hand or their arm, while they're feeding themselves, stuff will fall off of the silverware, the utensil. And so what the Meal Lifter does is it just shortens that distance between the food and your mouth. It doesn't do anything with the
trimmer.
Yeah, with the trimmer, but it helps you increase your chance of getting more food in your mouth, right?
Right.
So the idea is you put your elbow on the table, the Meal Lifter's here, your plate's here, and that distance is shortened, like so right here, so you maintain your nutritional intake.
Right.
So we love the Meal Lifter, and we'll put a link to that in the show notes later. What's a product that we talk about that you find that you think would be really helpful?
Yeah, well, when going along with the meals, we have found that sometimes if you add either weighted silverware is sometimes helpful to reduce the amplitude of the trimmer, as well as these little weighted glove and weighted sleeve. It's by a company called HandiThings.
HandiThings, yeah. That's out of St. Louis.
Yeah.
And it was created by an occupational therapist.
Yep. So it just, again, adds a little bit of weight, helps. It doesn't take away the trimmer by any means, but could potentially help reduce the amplitude of the trimmer. And that can be when you're eating, when you're writing, when you're, doing whatever. Adding a little bit of weight may be beneficial as well.
Yeah. And it kind of goes along too with, because like the weighted silverware sometimes will have a built up handle.
Right.
And so a lot of products, pieces of adaptive equipment that have a built up handle can also help people that are living with Parkinson's.
Right, because if you have decreased grip strength, sometimes the tinier things are more difficult to hold on to. So building up that grip,
or even grabbing a hold of.
Right. So building up the surface area and adding some texture to the surface area of what you're trying to grab or hold does help some on that.
That reminds me of a product called EazyHold. And those are silicone straps. They're food grade silicone. So what it is, it's this strap, and it goes around all kinds of products. So I'm thinking in particular, along with the self-feeding, is putting it around silverware.
Right.
And and it's just a little silicone strap. It's got a hole on each end. They're really stretchy because it's silicone. And you put it around the silverware and slip your hand into the strap. So now the strap goes on the back side of your hand, and then the piece of silverware goes here, and you can shoot on some of those EazyHold things. You don't even have to have a grip string. Right. You just slide it over your hand, and you don't even have to grip onto it. You've got that. You've already got that. So EazyHolder would be good. They also make an EazyHold strap that goes around a cup, so that if you have that grip strength issue, or even like with Parkinson's. Lots of times, whenever I was treating people that were living with Parkinson's, and we were working with the family, with the loved one, the family would go out and they would get like a sippy cup tumbler with a lid on it. Yeah. And a lot of those sippy cups are made for children, right? And so that kind of it's for a person's dignity, an adult's dignity and stuff. It's kind of childlike, and so with the EazyHold that goes on the cup, you could go out and get any kind of tumbler, that's going to be more age appropriate, and put that EazyHold on there, and then you've got that handle that somebody, and so it would come with a lid, so then it's going to decrease if they're trimmers, it's going to decrease spilling liquid out the table or wherever, or on the person. So EazyHold's another good product that we like to talk about for people that are living with Parkinson's. Right. What else, Sin? Well, what are some other things?
Well, the other thing, that we usually talk about is the MagnaReady and the magnetic clothing.
Yes, MagnaReady clothing, yeah. That's huge.
That has the magnetized area instead of buttons, has magnets, looks like buttons. But makes it just much easier to get on and get off, especially if you don't have that grip strength or the dexterity to do the buttons.
Or even range of motion. Right. Some of they've got a women's line. They've got more men's clothing than they do with women. I mean, we're a little bit pickier when it comes to style and fashion than men. Men are more just
Although the quality of their clothing is very good.
The quality is amazing. Nice. So I mean that's not to take away from the quality of the clothing. It's just that men don't seem to be as picky about it. They're just like, this is awesome. I don't have to button anything. It just magnetizes right up the top. So, but they've got this shirt for women that has magnets on the shoulders, so you don't have to slide it on the blouse on over your head. You would just slide it on like you would a button-up shirt up the front, and then it's kind of a wrap. Then it just magnetizes on the shoulders. And helps with dressing as well. So and MagnaReady also has pants.
For guys to have jeans. They got
a really cool pair of five pocket jeans. That's got a Velcro where the button is, where the rivet is on the top, and then the fly is magnetized. So you don't have to fumble with the zipper or anything. So MagnaReady's awesome. So kind of in that realm of of daily care as far as personal hygiene is concerned. Another thing that we like to talk about is the mobility towel. Right. So mobility towel, again, made in, it's
St. Louis.
The woman, the woman that invented it, Kathleen, is in St. Louis, so she's not too far from us. Kathleen's mom had rheumatoid arthritis, and so she was having a hard time grabbing the towel to dry herself off. Right. And would have to call Kathleen over, and Kathleen would come and help dry her mom off and everything. But again, there's that dignity issue, right? That independence of her she's been doing this since she's, little. Drying herself off. But now her schedule had to revolve around having somebody else do it for her. So Kathleen, what do they say? Necessity is the mother of invention. That's right. I love that. Yeah. So Kathleen developed this towel that has 3 big loops, handles in the middle of it, so her mom was able to slide her hands through, and the towel would drape off of her arms. And then on one side of the mobility towel has very light weights in the hem of it, so then she was able to just use gravity as her friend and drop it down over her leg, And then with the handles, she could just pull it back up and then use the friction from the weight on one side and the handles and dry herself off. Again, maintaining her functional independence and her dignity.
Yeah.
So that's mobility towel. We talk about that one a lot. So being able to maintain your independence in the bathroom.
Right.
What else do you think it's in?
The other thing that we like to show is the Footbar Walker.
Oh yeah, the Footbar Walker.
Yep.
Yeah, that is
assisting
really
people.
Yeah, tell us kind of the story about that one. With
That
the Footbar Walker.
was developed by a husband and wife for their neighbor. The neighbor's husband was suffering from Lewy body dementia. He was a tall guy. She was very short. The wife was short and was having trouble getting up out of the chair. He could walk with a walker once he was up, but she could not get him up, and trying to use a lift chair, it just wasn't working. It wasn't computing with him. So they developed the Footbar Walker. Yeah. And it's a little bit different than a regular walker. It has a bar that goes across the top front of it. Yeah. It also has a foot bar that's spring-loaded that the caregiver kind of pushes down and stands on. Yeah. And because of the counterbalance, it allows the loved one to actually pull themselves up. Yeah. And we often find that people, especially with Parkinson's, are able to pull themselves up. Sometimes they can't do the scooting forward and the whole, routine of scooting forward and putting your hands and pushing up. Yeah. But the pulling up sometimes works. So it's a very, very good piece of equipment. Yeah, I agree. I think we did a presentation. It was for a Parkinson's support group, wasn't it? It was for Parkinson's support group around where we're at, and there was a husband and wife that came up after the presentation, and they asked to use the Footbar Walker to try it out. So we got a chair and we got the Footbar Walker up there, and had the husband, he was the one that was living with Parkinson's, sit in the chair, and then we had his wife come around on the other side, because you need to have a caregiver that's hanging on to, if they're going to pull on it, you got to have some resistance so that they can pull themselves up. And so she went around the other side, and she held on to the Footbar Walker, put her foot on the foot bar, and had him stand up, and he popped right up. Yeah. And the second he popped up, he started crying, because it had been a while. Yeah. So it was when I say life-changing, I mean it can be life-changing for the right people. Right. And that's something I kind of want to talk about too, Sin, is that these products that we talk about and that we do, that we do videos for and everything, they're not for everybody. Right. Right. But they are for, nothing is for everybody. Nothing is a cure-all, right? Right. But what we do these videos for is to raise people's awareness that these products are out there, and that maybe it might be right for you, your situation, your loved one's situation, but everybody deserves options. Right. Maybe it's not for you, but maybe it's for somebody else that might see the video. So if it's not for you, you don't have to say anything about it. You can either scroll on, or maybe you know somebody that it's for, and you could pass this video on to them. So I just kind of want to put a little note out there for that. So so the Footbar Walker, I'm trying to think, you know what I want to mention too, kind of going back to into the bathroom area, like with the mobility towel. Right. I want to talk a little bit about the QuickChange Wrap. Oh yeah. Yeah. So the QuickChange Wrap is an incontinence pad. Can I call it a pad? Yeah. It's a product. It's an incontinence product made for wheelchair or bed-bound males. And so it was designed by a CNA. I mean, that makes sense. Again, back to that, necessity being the mother of invention. Right. But what I like about the QuickChange Wrap, it allows that guy to be able to, if he's out in the community, to do his own personal hygiene. You could go into the restroom and change the QuickChange Wrap. It's a pad. When it's applied, it looks like a funnel. If you haven't seen the videos,
there's some really great videos out there by an occupational therapist that uses a banana because a lot of this stuff can get dinged for community stuff. So if you get a chance to go to QuickChange Wrap's website, check it out, and they talk about the banana and how it will and how you can apply the QuickChange Wrap. So anyway, I think that's a game changer again for people's functional independence. They could wear that QuickChange Wrap and then have a brief one of those pull-ups, and then instead of having to change the whole pull-up, like if you're out in the community or at home even, you can just change the QuickChange Wrap. The guy can change the QuickChange Wrap and maintain that independence and dignity. The QuickChange Wrap will hold 16 fluid ounces. That's a lot of liquid.
That is a lot of liquid.
That's a bottle of water.
Yeah. So
anyway, so that's QuickChange Wrap. What else can you think of, Sin? Anything off the top of your head?
I know
we've got all these little, these smaller products, like the functional hand. The functional hand's a good one. It's right up there with the EazyHold. For helping people. It's a handle, and it's got an elastic loop on it, and you could put pins and pencils, and what I like is you could put a bingo dauber in it. And for those people that like to play bingo, but maybe they have difficulty with their hand grip. A lot of little things like what did we bring? We also brought a Keywing. Keywings. That's what it's called, Keywings, right? Yeah, Keywings. So it's just a way that it's like a little piece of plastic that you lay your key in it, and it snaps together around your key, but it builds up the handle of the key. So if you have difficulty with that pinch grip, that Keywing's there, and so it's got some little bumps on it, so you'll be able to. It's got the raised bumps.
Kind of texture.
Texture is the word I'm looking for. And then it's also built up, so it's going to help for people that maybe have difficulty with grip strength. I think what else? It's got so much.
I know. You need to come and check us out. Check us out at Adaptive Equipment Corner on YouTube. All the social
all
media.
All of that stuff is on our YouTube channel. So even the stuff that we couldn't think of.
That's right.
Scroll.
It's all there.
It's all there. Scroll through our YouTube channel and see what's there, or or even our Facebook page. We're on Facebook. I'm going to tell you, we're even on TikTok.
That's right.
For those of you that are TikTokers and you'd like to go get your social media on TikTok, you could go there. We're on LinkedIn, we're on Instagram, we're on Blue Sky, we're on Threads. So give us a follow. We would appreciate it. Cindy and I just rolled over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube earlier this year. Which is. It's no small feat. We're very proud of that, because what we do isn't, I always say, it's not sexy. So, to get subscribers and followers and stuff, really, it takes a lot of hard work, because in this industry, people don't know what they need until they need it, right? And so, so we get a lot of times people scrolling through our stuff because it's like a last minute thing kind of thing. So, maybe be a little bit more prepared, or if you know somebody, send them our channel and have them kind of scroll through it and ask questions. Some of our best questions come from our social media channels.
That's right.
So reach out to us, ask us questions.
That's right.
You can look for those products that we forgot but we've got with us. So anyway, and if you know anybody that has a product that you think we need to review, reach out to us. And we could do a product review for them and help raise people's awareness.
Right. And if you love seeing products and checking them out and being able to touch them, we're actually going to be at the Abilities Expo in Chicago in June.
Glad you said that.
So please come out and see us. We'd love to see you, love to meet you. And
if you're in the Chicago area,
going to have a lot of stuff to show. And
come by. We're going to be at booth 1009 and 1011.
Yes.
This is our first time with such a big area. 20 by 30 booth.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yep. So come out and see us.
Yeah, come by and swing by and say hi. We'll probably have a couple of the inventors there.
Yes.
We've asked them to come showcase their product there because the booth is so big. So, you know, if you want to meet some of the inventors of the products, we'll probably have them there too. So swing by and say hi.
That's right.
And I guess that's all we have for today.
That's it for today.
I love it. All right. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.